don't you hate the phrase plus size? In your case, it was a incorrect nomenclature, and I take that point. But even otherwise, why do we have to categorize it? Even progressive fashion lines,
Yeah.
to be inclusive, say, oh, we have plus size models, we have plus size clothes, but you're still ghettoizing a certain body type.
Yes, yes. Frankly, listen, at that point of time where our entire industry was just not willing to accept the fact that, the clothes that you're selling are actually being sold to a size 16, size 14, size 18. Like, that's your TG, that's your target audience. Why aren't we seeing representation in your campaigns on the ramp and all of those things? So I wanted to cross that one border first, and then maybe pick another fight, because I just knew that if I pick all the fights all together at once, the industry is not going to change. And I just needed to pick my battles at the time, and that's why I didn't
Fair.
talk about, okay, you're labeling me wrong, because at that point of time, the industry was just getting used to seeing representation and inclusivity, and that was a huge step any which ways, specifically for India, which is run and made of curvy women. Like, it's
Yeah.
that representation was truly important to me. But you're right, like, labeling specifically, not just in my industry, otherwise as well, labeling is something which is, I mean,
Yeah.
so like last
But
century.
But I want to clarify that I wasn't being judgy. I actually take your point that for so many of us, we first have to get power and success before we can change anything from within. I mean, in the media, I had to first prove myself before I could call out practices that I didn't like. I had to get that clout. So
Yes.
totally your point is taken. And today you're in a position where you can ask for different words to be used, and hats off to you. Now, a lot of girls here, they're in school, they're teenage girls, and when you were their age, and I know a lot of them have questions for you, and we have less time with you, so I'm not going to hog all the time. Girls, if you have questions, like always, raise your hand and we'll come to you, or I'll call upon you. But Sakshi, when we were talking at the last We the Women, you spoke about being bullied at school, you spoke about wrestling with eating disorders. What was that time like?
um I just felt so alone at the time, and little did I know that every other girl around me was actually battling the same thing. And I wish we spoke about it more, I wish we discussed more, I wish there was more awareness. And it just also starts from home, right? Like, I feel like there was such a blindfold at home, where either the parents or the siblings just weren't, they could see everything, but they weren't open to have a conversation, and that was harmful. And it just deteriorates till the very end. Like, you
Mm.
reach your, like, the bottom of the barrel. Like, you literally, you don't feel like you can come back, you don't see a light of hope. I remember I had, for a brief moment, completely stopped eating, and I don't know how
When
people.
you say completely, you mean completely?
I was literally on 2 spoons of rice. That was my food in the day.
Mm.
And I was losing weight to the point that I disliked food. I was terrible company because I couldn't go anywhere without my friends. And everybody just seemed to bully me even more because I wasn't eating. Like, they could see a fat girl go into a very, very skinny girl in school, which was celebrated, and that led to more body image issues in me. Because for some reason in this world, when you lose weight and you become hot in their category and notion of hot, people tend to celebrate you, and that made me feel even worse. Like, I just, like, I completely stopped eating to the point that I was like falling sick every 15 days. um like I said, it was just not a good time. But the worst of it all was that people could see that. I couldn't see that because I couldn't see any ray of hope. But, like, people around me should have been more proactive in, like, realizing, okay, that's not okay. She's not eating, she is constantly unhappy, she is looking at herself in the mirror. I remember I had developed a habit of touching my stomach
Mm.
constantly, which can't seem to get rid of even now. And I
Mm.
would see that when I would go on panels and somebody would call me on stage, I would still keep, like, doing this, like flattening out my stomach.
Or
um,
tucking it in like that,
or
or
tucking it
like,
in. Like,
yeah.
I would constantly, like, hunch my back so that my tummy would go in. And this is just something that's sort of now in me, like it's built in me. And it's been such a struggle to even, like realizing, okay, this is, this is something that I'm doing. I need to change that.
Yeah.
Um,
How did you? What was the tipping point to come out of that space? What tipped you to this side where we see this energized, spunky, passionate, style me up with Sakshi persona?
Internet. I started following a lot of YouTubers. That was the space, I think it was 2016 or 2015, when I started seeing real girls on the internet doing a lot of, real things. These were people who looked like me, and none of them were from India, because tab tak awareness India tak pahunchi nahi thi. But I could see international creators just like being themselves. And it made me feel like, okay, if they can be that, I can be like them. And maybe I'm doing that for girls now.
Why do you feel so bad? Why do you feel so bad? And I'm going to actually let Sakshi talk to you. Sakshi, just briefly, we lost you. And I asked the girls, which one of you polled you dislike your body? And Akshita here said, I polled both. I dislike myself and I dislike my body. And she was talking about that.
I
And
can
it's
like,
okay.
I literally see myself in her right now. I went through like Akshata, I can only tell you one thing. It's easier said than done, but like it really does get better. I remember what you're going through right now. I went through that. I would like literally sit with pint of ice cream and really, really bad food in 12th grade, and I would just constantly walk because I thought my stress will go away if I eat. And I was directing all my nervousness and all my anxiousness towards food, which made me feel like it was definitely a very unhealthy relationship with food. So I know what you're going through, because it's like a vicious cycle. Food becomes your enemy. Like you keep eating it, but then you feel bad after eating it, and it's a vicious cycle to be a part of. The only thing I'm going to say is that please, 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 when you feel like, okay, I'm just feeling bad about myself, I need to go and eat food, go and talk to somebody or start watching or distract yourself at that time. I think it's the quickest and the most temporary and something that worked for me. I'm not a professional here, so I can't give you um, any professional advice, but I started taking therapy in school with my school counselor, and it was something that really helped me. I started creating a journal and writing down my thoughts. And the easiest and the most temporary fix at that point of time was distracting myself. Or maybe start small. Like if you feel like eating, maybe go towards fruits. I developed a fascination with watermelon and mango, and that really helped me. So I would go to the foods that maybe aren't that bad for me, but still sort of satisfy the craving and like takes away the
Yeah.
anxiousness. So maybe go towards that.
Can I just also, Akshita, ask you to talk a little bit about this pain you're feeling right now, these tears? What are these tears about? Are you angry with yourself? Are you angry with the world? Are you what?
Personally, I'm angry with myself because I'm trying myself, like I'm trying to teach myself to not give like I don't care what the world says, I'm gonna be me. But I'm just angry with myself that I'm unable to do that because every small little thing people tell me about my body, my personality, anything, it affects me a lot.
Tell me, is your opinion of yourself exactly the opinion that they have for you? Like,
Somewhat,
do you
because
feel
I've
like
been
I
this,
don't
I'm
see
that.
that. I don't see this person, and I know Sakshi doesn't either. I see a smart, confident, bright, perky girl who has her hand up to ask the first question every time and has all the smarts in the world. I don't see who you see. Sakshi, do you remember feeling like this? Do you
like
remember
so
ever?
clearly, so clearly? I literally see myself in you. Can I tell you something? And I'm not just saying it for the heck of it. People are going to be really envious of how beautiful your skin is. I promise you, you have the most incredible skin. You have the most incredible cheeks. I used to hate that I have such high cheeks. And now look at me, like I'm wearing extra blush to make my cheeks pop even more because I love the blush in my cheeks. I love my smile. People used to think I have like too much gum showing when I laugh. And I love that about myself. That conversation changes. Like people, I have crooked eyes, and I love that about myself. I've learned how to do eye makeup. I used to not put anything on my eyes, and now I love doing eye makeup because just it makes me feel good about myself because I'm doing it for myself. You're not doing it for anybody else. Even if everybody constantly points out, okay, no, you're gaining weight, or you're doing this, or you're doing this wrong, or you're being like this, or you're not pretty as everybody else, or you're not as smart as everybody else, tell them, please, that's not how I think of myself. Like, that's like, keep quiet. Like, tell them blatantly, respectfully, take them to a corner, make them understand that conversations are important. Please sit down with whomever. Like, you don't need to create a, like, if you don't feel like it, you don't need to have a whole fight in the middle of everybody, but take that one person who's bullying you, take them to the corner. I've done that with so many people you can't even think of. When I put my mind to it, I said, I'm going to handpick all the bullies in my life. That included my parents, by the way. And I literally sat them down and I told them, your words are hurtful to me. I'm impressionable because I'm young. I'm only 15, 16, 14 years old. What you're talking about me is literally how I feel about myself, and even worse, because you just say and you move on with the rest of your day. I live with those thoughts and it's hurting me. So have those conversations with yourself because it's going to help you and it's going to help them,
I, and look at
confidence.
this, and look at Sakshi, and I want to say one other thing here. Look at Sakshi's life. Look at the success that she has, carved for herself. And let me tell you, if you feel confident, not a person in the world will dare to even comment on how you look. And if they do, it'll just be water off your back. It will not bother you. Now, I know, Sakshi, you've got to tell us when you absolutely have to go, but I'm going to try and take one more question. Mohal, you had your hand
No,
up.
I want to do this so I can wait for another 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you. I see Mohal now. Mohal, go ahead.
Yeah, so when Akshata was speaking, I was actually like pretty like shy to like talk about, because like I don't really like to talk about it, simply because I had like a lot of bad like memories attached to it. So I'm in CIS now. I joined this year. Last year I was like, before that I was in with the Shilp Academy, and yeah, so like over there, like I was like pretty much bullied like my entire like 6th grade to like 7th, I think. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like to the point where like no one would sit with me, or like no one would like let me play sports with them, right? Because I would like play like basketball, volleyball, and stuff like that. Like, oh no, you're fat, you're short, you can't do anything. We're not gonna let you play because you can't run. I could run, by the way. But yeah, so like they would like keep like calling me names, and that really like hurt me like emotionally and mentally. And like on top of that, like my parents, they would like they weren't like the best at like handling this. They were like, yeah, okay, so like what's your point? And I think a couple months ago, like my mom like put me on this diet because she was like so embarrassed of it, and like that like really hurt, because I thought like my mom would like understand more than other people, and she didn't. So yeah.
And that must have made you feel very lonely, right?
Yeah.
And thank you for sharing that. It's tough
I
to
can't
share.
believe people like I used to go. I can't believe I'm listening to these things, because it's just like it's making me travel back in time where I was made to sit in a corner. And there's another thing that helped me, and I don't think I've ever spoken about it, but I tried to change the narrative. Like if I would sit alone, I at that point of time, during the later years, we could hide a headphone, and I would carry my I would sneak in my phone, and I would carry a headphone, and I would just like sit like this, and I would have some really amazing Taylor Swift songs playing in my ear, and I would create like a false reality where I thought I was in a music video, and I would just try to change the narrative. At that point of time, because when you're in that space and you feel like you're being put on a spot, or you're victimized at a certain point, I think like I said, the temporary fix is to try to change the narrative, try to change your mindset at that point of time, because it's going to hurt you lesser. I think when people say something, we tend to overthink it, and we tend to like make a much bigger deal in our own head with our own negative thoughts, and I think that's what hurts us. So if you try to change the narrative at that point, you're going to stop thinking about it, and maybe you'll move on from that. But if people are not listening to you, let's say your parents are not listening to you, or maybe you're angry that your mom didn't listen, please just know that maybe they are not aware, and they're uncomfortable talking about a topic because they just feel like they can't help you. Or maybe they were hurt when they were younger, and maybe they're also carrying the same pain, so they
Did you
really
go through that? Did your family sometimes again, coming from a place of love, completely well-intentioned, thinking that they're doing the best for you, but alienating you at that point? Did that happen to you, Sakshi?
Yeah, it did. And slowly and steadily, like I said, I didn't want to fight all at once, but I took the smaller steps. Like for example, you can tell your mama, like, I just feel lonely when you don't talk to me when I try to share something with you. Just that, she's your mother, she will have the best intentions for you more than anybody else, and maybe she just needs, you can support each other. I think the idea is not to take all the support from her, but also like mutually support and talk to each other, and maybe talk to her, why are you behaving like that? And maybe you will find a solution, sort of a midway ground, and that's something that helped me.
And Mohal, did you change schools because of the bully? Was that one of the reasons?
Yeah, like that was like one of the reasons. Yeah.
How are you doing today? How does life feel right now?
I mean, it's better, yeah, but yeah.
And what are your dreams? Let's talk about something happy. What are your dreams for yourself?
I'm not sure, like right now. Yeah, but like, yeah.
Thank you for sharing your story. I see another hand up, Punya.
My question was, so I have friends who go through this on a daily basis, and they're able to speak up for themselves so confidently and so concisely, but I've never been able to do that. Like, I've always wanted to speak up, but at that moment, I just freeze up and my mind sort of becomes numb, and words don't flow out. When I think about it later, I know what I should have said, but at that moment, I just can't think of what to say. So I was wondering.
Isn't that all of us?
We
Sometimes
all remember our best lines later, Punya. I'll tell you that.
Don't
But
be like, don't overthink your life away. Like, life is really too small to like constantly be in your head. Let people judge you all they want. Let them judge you. It's fine. It's okay. Like, this is your life. Honestly, take it slow. Don't add so much pressure on yourself to speak up. If you want to speak up, just let it go. I don't know how you do that, but it's like you have to train your mind. You have to affirm yourself, and you have to constantly tell yourself, I can do this. I'm gonna do this. No more thoughts. Like, empty out your thoughts, gain control of your own brain, and don't add any pressure on you. Don't overthink it at all. And if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, it's going to be progress. It's taken me 20s. I'm now 28. It's taken me 28 years to be here and talk about these things. I was exactly where you are. I was exactly going through all of the things. Like, literally, it's deja vu for me, because I've been through exactly everything that you guys are saying. I used to freeze up. I love debating. My sister was great at debating, and I had such high expectations in school because my sister was this amazing, well-spoken girl with all the right things to say. And I remember so many times I would just freeze up on stage. If I'd given up thinking, okay, I'm the worst, I wouldn't have become a content creator, where literally my life is about speaking on a public platform to so many people. Like, I had to get out of my head.
Yeah.
And
Punya, what freezes you? Typically, what does someone say to you when you freeze and you think later, I wish I'd said something?
So sometimes what happens is when other people speak up, the person who's almost victimizing them, they it never gets to them. So I'm at that phase where I'm almost like immune to all of it. And I think, oh, whatever I say, it's not going to make a difference. And I may as well not say anything because it's wasting my own energy and wasting my own mental space. So, and it's not even going to make a difference to them.
I think that's Sakshi, that happens to a lot of people, right? They feel like even if I speak, nothing will change. Things do change. There was a time when you couldn't object to nomenclature, body positivity, plus size. Today you can. And I guess the lesson there is keep going, keep going. You know, I remember, again, I quoted Hillary Clinton in a previous class also, but she said, one of the things that irritates people who try to put girls and women down is to just keep showing up. Just keep showing up. If you just keep at it and you show up every day and you still pick up yourself from the floor and you walk again, that in itself is victory and irritates a lot of people. Ananya, what are you feeling right now about the poll?
Okay.
Yeah.
In general, I've always been very okay with my
Good.
body. I think I do have a lot of relatives and family that have gone through really, really, really bad times with their body, and it feels really sad because there are such amazing people who have so much going for them that just because of their body it doesn't make sense that they should feel bad about their whole self. Like some people over here who are saying that because of their body they feel bad about their entire personality, and just getting to know them over even like yesterday and today, they seem to have such amazing personalities, and it's so sad that it just negates all of that in their own minds because we're so much more than our bodies. And yeah, I think it's really inspirational what Sakshi has gone through. And yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad somebody said that. We're so much more than our bodies. Actually, I'm going to give you the last word. What would you tell your 15-year-old self? We're asking everybody that, our role models. What would you tell your 15-year-old self?
I want to add a few things before.
Sure.
You know, Rihanna said, pretend girl. You know how she said, I'm sure you guys have seen that reel, that speech going around where Rihanna said, pretend girl. Like, I'm telling you, just take today and try to be this, like the girl that you aspire to be. Just act like her. Literally, don't do anything else. Just act like the person.
Basically, fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it, and it'll become your reality. Trust me, people are only reflecting, like they're literally reflecting your energy. If you're going to be confident today, if I'm sitting in a room like this, people are going to be like, we need to pick on her because people like they get attracted by negative energy. But if you're sitting like this, nobody can come and talk to you in a bad way, and nobody can comment on your body. Like literally, if you're exuding that kind of confidence and that kind of energy, everything around you will change. And it can really, there's no problem in starting with like faking it a little or pretending a little. It might just it did wonders for me because I realized one day that I'm going to be the person that I aspire to be, and let's see what happens. Maybe this will be a fun activity for you guys to do for like a week, and just do it. That's like
on a totally separate note, I just realized that we didn't even ask you about your impending wedding. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I mean, even for the wedding, like there are so many pressures. By the way, like the whole bullying thing has come back all over again. I'm dealing with so much stuff because I didn't realize everything I've built around me will just go shattering down because it's all about being a thin bride.
Oh, really?
Lose weight before the wedding because nobody wants to see a fat bride.
And what have you said to those who have said this to you?
And I'm trying to change that narrative so much. I can't go to a store and try out a single lehenga because they don't make lehengas in my body for my body type. There's a whole different struggle. Maybe like 6 months later, I will have a concrete answer for you and how I dealt with the whole thing. I'm still in the process of dealing with it. I think what I do is now I can talk is why I do talk. And if it's not even about I can talk, I'm not afraid to ask questions, even if that makes me sound like, oh, you're too snobbish, or you're too arrogant, or you're too whatever. I don't care about what other people think. If it matters to me, that's the most important thing for me.
Absolutely.
That
And it's crazy that they don't make lehengas for the, like even your bridal outfit has to be some sort of beauty burden. Sakshi, what would you tell your 15-year-old self?
Take a deep breath. First and foremost, I think I just stopped breathing, and I stopped taking things in for a very long time. People change. You can change. Your mentality can change. You should change. Your mentality should change. I would tell this to my 15-year-old self. Be patient. Be yourself. Don't try to be like anybody else. Don't try to fit in anybody else's shoes. Your authenticity is going to be the biggest success, and it will take you places, because God had put you on this earth for a reason. He had made this wonderful personality for a reason. So bank on that. Like, put your bets on your personality, put your bets on your mind, and everything else will follow.
Thank you. And I really hope that a lot of the girls here can draw strength from you and your journey. We love you, and we look forward to you changing the narrative for so many girls everywhere. Thank you, Sakshi. God bless.
Thank you so much. I love you girls so much. So much. Thank you so much, Barkha, for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. Take care. Thank you so much.